Thank you for attending my presentation on Lawbreakers, How Not to Sell Your Game. Lawbreakers was a 2017 hero shooter made by Boss Key Productions, Cliff Bleszinski's comeback project after leaving Epic Games. Cliff Bleszinski has been involved in games such as Gears of War and Unreal Tournament. He practically invented modern shooters, so the expectations were quite sky high. A team-based hero shooter with gravity-defying combat, air dashes, zero-gravity mechanics, and all of that. And the problem was that it was a team-based hero shooter in 2017, which meant that you were fighting Paladins, Overwatch, TF2, Battleborn, and many other hero shooters that would have been released at the time. On paper, Lawbreakers had all the ingredients: a legendary game developer, unique mechanics, and an established genre. But the execution? A case study on how not to actually sell your game. Let's be real now, Lawbreakers picked the worst possible time to exist. It launched only, a year after Overwatch had completely absorbed the hero shooter market, and Fortnite was weeks away from redefining it eternally. Well, not weeks, but months, Even worse, its launch wasn't free to play. In a world where every competitor was lowering the barrier to entry, Fortnite Battle Royale, PUBG, even Overwatch sometimes with free weekends for the Game of the Year edition, Lawbreakers asked for $30 up front for a new IP from a brand new studio with no recognizable characters. And let's be real, the arena shooter genre, which Lawbreakers was an arena shooter, was washed in the 2010s. A gladiatorial arena, when you're only armed with your fist and everybody has spears and swords and bows, is not a recipe for financial success. Not to mention, the marketing was bizarre. Lawbreakers positioned itself as a sort of anti-casual, skill-based, get-good, shooter. It wasn't for everyone. It's like they tried to sell elitism as a feature. They didn't promote the fun of the game. They promoted the difficulty of the game. And that alienated nearly everyone, because you have to realize that FPS is a very casual genre. Think about it. Call of Duty, Battlefield. Most people playing those games aren't super hardcore competitive. Even games like Valorant and Counter-Strike, they still have very significant casual fan bases. Nobody wants skill-based games in the FPS market, especially when you need casual players for your team-based arena hero shooter. No disrespect for skillful games, but when you build a team-based title, your player base size is your lifeline. You can't gatekeep fun and then act surprised when your servers are empty. Skill expression isn't everything. They called itself the Dark Souls of FPS, not realizing that nobody wants to play the Dark Souls of FPS. Another thing is that Nexon existed. A Korean free-to-play giant known for MapleStory and gacha systems. I mean, let's be real now. The stuff I see in MapleStory, that shit makes Madden Ultimate Team, FIFA Ultimate Team look like the best games ever. I mean, they're like EA, but Korean and 10 times worse. They practically popularized the mobile online gacha system with MapleStory's gacha system. Putting a premium hardcore Western FPS in their portfolio was like selling steak at a candy store. Marketing barely existed. Distribution was awkward. There's a console version, but that got delayed, I think. And the Nexon partnership sent the worst possible signal to the audience that, hey, all of this was a free-to-play game. All of these games are free-to-play. So obviously, this game is going to go free-to-play. So people held off buying, waiting for the inevitable point where the game becomes free-to-play. It never came. And the people forget that Lawbreakers wasn't bad. It just wasn't special. I mean, sure, the zero gravity was interesting, but it didn't meaningfully affect moment-to-moment gameplay. The characters lacked that iconic flair, and the art direction screamed Unreal Engine demo, I mean, none of these designs inspire interesting thoughts, you know? And Cliff Bleszinski said on record that his game flops because it was too woke, while literal diversity checkbox Overwatch was raking in the big bucks at the time. When you make a hero shooter, your characters are your brand. Overwatch had Tracer and Reinhardt. Team Fortress had the Spy and the Heavy. Lawbreakers had, I don't know, let's be real now. It was competent, yeah. It wasn't a bad game, but competent games just aren't enough anymore. Lawbreakers failed because it tried to be everything the market didn't want. It's hardcore in a casual era, premium in a free-to-play economy, edgy when people want a charm, and most of all, like, just not the time. It just wasn't the time. It was like a Lawbreakers released in the game industry 20 years ago instead of 2017. It released in 1997. When Cliff later admitted that he wished they'd gone free to play, it was too late. Barely a year after launch, the servers shut down. A game isn't about mechanics, or just about mechanics. It's about timing, tone, and understanding who you're selling to. Lawbreakers didn't fail because it was bad. It failed because it thought the audience was the problem. Lawbreakers isn't just a flop. It's a mirror for every overconfident studio that thinks good gameplay will sell itself. It won't, and it hasn't for a while.